That was Seattle dental assistant Gerard Ty. Ty's no stranger to thieves in the night or confronting them face to face. Now joining us is Gerard Ty. Gerard, what's up? Thanks so much for coming back on Law and Crime.
Hello.
So this wasn't the first time you've confronted a thief and shirtless at that. You have another video where it seems like a thief was interested in, I think it was your motorcycle, but all he left with was a can of lube.
Yeah, and that video was very interesting. He just seemed like he was casually walking in, carrying a guitar on his back and looking at all the bikes. And I seen him lean down next to my motorcycle, and I thought, well, what's he doing down there? Because there's really nothing on the ground, with the exception of my chain lubricant and my the rear stand. And then I noticed he put something in his bag, and I thought, well, wait a minute. The only thing that's there is my chain lubricant, which was brand new, and stuff's not cheap. So I ran down there in just my shorts, and I looked down there. In the video, it shows that there's only just a few seconds between him taking the lubricant and then me arriving. But I actually had spliced the videos because there was probably a minute that was in between the time that he was there and the time that I showed up. And the first thing I did was look at the back tire of my bike and notice a chain lube missing. And that chain lube's not cheap. It was like $39 for that can. And that's when I had just my shorts on, and I didn't have a belt on, so I had to keep holding my shorts up too. And I ran after him, and I caught him at the neighbor's house across the street, and he acted like he didn't take anything. But I don't, everyone acts like they don't take anything because they don't realize that it's all on camera.
Did you get the lube back?
I did not, but because I was barefoot, which I've learned not to go down barefoot anymore, and he was wearing, but I did get a huge sense of satisfaction that when he fell, when I confronted him across the street, we had done the back and forth. It was a little comedy when I watch it. I was mad when I was in the middle of it. He fell, and when he fell into the bushes of the neighbor's house, he broke the neck of his guitar.
Karma.
So when he was running away, all you could see was this thing bouncing out of his bag. It was like, well, okay, he broke his guitar.
Yeah, and that to repair that probably cost more than $39. So he might have came out at a net negative from all this.
Either that or it wasn't his guitar to begin with.
Oh, maybe he stole it from another carport.
Just never know.
So in those two videos, you confronted the thieves shirtless. There's another video, which we've played before on Law and Crime, where you confront a thief holding a gun in just your underwear.
Put it down! Put it down now! What the thing down?
Yes, I didn't really think that video was going to hit as hard as it did with the community, but I didn't have a chance to put on my clothes. The gun was locked up in the safe, which I don't have that locked up in the safe anymore. If I'd waited to put on my clothing, they would have gotten the bike in the back of the truck and taken off. There was a very scary experience for me, as I've said before and so many times. It's the first time I've ever pulled my weapon on somebody with the bullet chambered and the safety off. And it was a .45 caliber, so it's not going to injure them.
Yeah, you have to act swiftly. Sometimes the difference between putting clothes on and not is someone getting away with something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
How many times have you been robbed? Like, I know I've asked you this before, but are you just super unlucky, or kind of what's going on with your situation?
Well, I think it happens every night. Well, not every night. I want to say every night. But I'm the only one that has cameras that actually post the videos that I'm in the Ring camera network. That's my system. There's so many camera systems, and there's not one that's better than the other. But on the network, the Ring camera network, there's always posts every day. Oh, somebody stole my package, or oh, somebody stole my bike, and it tells you on the Ring app where it happened and when it happened and who's posting it. But I'm just putting my videos out there to let everyone see that, yeah, this does happen. But nobody gives eyes to what's happening until I post all of my videos. I had somebody just recently come in, well, 2 months ago, and cut through the top of my neighbor's convertible Miata. That video's kind of violent. It's the first time I've ever confronted somebody and struck somebody with my bat. So I haven't posted that one yet. But these people just come in and they, you know, have the tools that they need to get into whatever they need to get into and have no expectation that somebody's going to come down. And that one I was in my underwear too. So it's pretty brazen video. But anyway, it does happen more than anyone thinks. When I first started airing these videos and I showed my resident manager what was going on, the resident manager said, "Wow, I can't believe this is starting to happen." I was like, "No, it's not starting to happen. It's always been happening. You've just never had a window to it." So that's what I'm doing, is just providing a window to what happens very often, but nobody notices because it happens during the hours that people are, not awake or realizing that something's happening.
Yeah, and I think you're also giving people a window into someone who's actually doing something about this. What do you say to people who say to you, Gerard, why don't you just call the police?
So the Seattle Police Department is not very big right now because they just had everyone's trying to defund the police. That was a big movement here in Seattle. Very disappointing because the Seattle Police Department's been very responsive, but there just aren't enough of them. I'm a huge fan of more policing instead of less, because the less you have, the more this happens. But they, to anyone says, well, I've got somebody here trying to steal my car, and they're going to be there and out in less than 2 minutes, and the police response takes 7 to 15 minutes. So if we can't rely on the police to do it, and I'm not saying it's the police department's fault, we have to do something about it ourselves. And to sit back and do nothing is nothing but encouragement for other people to come in and commit these crimes more often and more frequently, or just more frequently. Yeah, if you don't do anything about it, then you're just encouraging it to be done.
I'm glad you're doing something, and more importantly, Gerard, I'm glad you're staying safe.
That incident taught me a lot. I confronted. He pulled a knife on me, and it was the same knife that he used to cut through the top of the Miata. And when he pulled the knife out, he also shined the flashlight in my hands. All I did was swing as hard as I could, knock the knife and the flashlight out of his hands, and that was the end of the confrontation. But I've never had somebody pull a knife on me before, and as a result of that transaction that happened between us, it's guns from now on.
Well, when you post that video, I hope to have you back on, Gerard. And I'm just glad you're staying safe.
Just look for it.
Uh,
I'll send it
all
to
right, I
you.
know you will. You got my email, Gerard Ty. Appreciate you as always.
All right, no problem.
Thanks for coming on.